America is a nation on edge. Increasingly, it feels like a society teetering on the brink. Distrust festers, anger simmers. And in this climate of fear and uncertainty, a disturbing trend has emerged: the rise of armed militias. Footage has surfaced recently showing heavily armed groups patrolling streets. These are not your typical weekend warriors. These groups are organized, equipped, and appear ready for conflict. Most alarmingly, many appear to be divided along racial lines. The presence of these militias is deeply troubling. It speaks to a dangerous erosion of trust in traditional institutions. When citizens feel unsafe, they may arm themselves, but when they lose faith in the rule of law, the potential for chaos explodes. This is not just about guns, it's about a fundamental breakdown in our social fabric. It's about a failure to address the deep divisions that plague our nation. Lincoln Heights, Ohio became a flashpoint for these tensions in early February 2025. A group of neo-Nazis, faces hidden behind masks, marched through the streets. They brandished swastikas. They waved banners proclaiming hateful ideologies. This was not free speech. This was a deliberate attempt to provoke and intimidate. The march sparked outrage. Residents confronted the neo-Nazis. Angry shouts filled the air. Fists flew. The situation quickly escalated, threatening to spiral out of control. Police intervened, forming a barrier between the clashing groups. It was a tense standoff, a stark visual representation of a nation divided against itself. The situation in Lincoln Heights is a chilling microcosm of a much larger problem. America is a nation increasingly polarized. Common ground is shrinking, and in this climate of fear and mistrust, the potential for violence grows. The emergence of armed militias in the United States is not without historical precedent. Throughout history, militias have often arisen in times of instability, when state authority is weak or perceived to be illegitimate. The American Revolution itself was, in many ways, a conflict fueled by militias. These citizen soldiers played a crucial role in securing independence from British rule. But the legacy of militias in America is a complex one. Militias have also been instruments of violence and oppression. The Ku Klux Klan, for example, was a white supremacist militia that terrorized Black Americans for decades. The line between citizen soldiers and vigilante groups is thin and easily blurred. Today, the rise of militias in the United States should be seen as a warning sign. It is a symptom of a deeper malaise, a reflection of a society struggling to cope with profound social and political challenges. The situation in America today is a powder keg, and the fuse is burning. Right-wing extremism is on the rise, fueled by inflammatory rhetoric and online echo chambers. Conspiracy theories spread like wildfire. Meanwhile, political polarization continues to deepen, driven by a toxic mix of social media algorithms, partisan news outlets, and a political system seemingly incapable of addressing the real needs of its citizens. This is not about left versus right. This is about the very soul of America. It's about who we are as a nation and what we want to become. The path we are on is unsustainable. We cannot continue down this road of division and distrust without facing dire consequences. The time for dialogue, for understanding, for genuine attempts at reconciliation is now. The alternative is unthinkable.